The Formula One paddock, a place rarely surprised by anything, collectively held its breath when Ross Brawn, the legendary architect of multiple championship dynasties, delivered a statement so direct, so utterly brutal, it felt less like an opinion and more like an indictment. He didn't just comment, he challenged the very internal narrative that Ferrari has clung to for years, especially now with Lewis Hamilton's impending arrival. Brawn, the man who engineered Michael Schumacher's unparalleled success at Maranello and laid the groundwork for Mercedes' era of dominance, speaks with an authority few can rival. His words carry the weight of experience, a profound understanding of what it takes to build a winning team, and a track record of turning potential into glory. The timing of his pronouncement was particularly pointed, coming on the heels of Lewis Hamilton's self-admitted worst season ever and the raw, emotional breakdown he displayed in the closing races. The air was already thick with speculation about Hamilton's future, his form, and the monumental leap he was about to take. Brawn's brutal truth cut through the noise with surgical precision. Lewis Hamilton's success at Ferrari is not a given, nor is it solely dependent on his unparalleled talent. It is, Brawn asserted, entirely conditional. The explicit condition? Ferrari must unequivocally nail the upcoming 2026 technical regulations. This wasn't a subtle hint, it was a thunderclap. It shifted the immense burden of expectations squarely onto the team, unequivocally stating that the onus is now on Maranello to deliver a championship-contending machine, rather than on Hamilton to simply adapt to whatever he is given. When Ross Brawn speaks, the entire paddock leans in. His analysis isn't mere conjecture, it's an expert dissection of the sport's most complex dynamics. Hamilton's visible struggles throughout the season had been heartbreakingly clear. He openly admitted to a painful year, confessing that he wasn't even looking forward to the next one, a stark departure from the usually ebullient and eternally optimistic seven-time world champion. Brawn, with his customary empathy, acknowledged Hamilton's difficulty and the profound frustration that had clearly permeated his psyche. But then came the central bomb, dropped with chilling clarity. Hamilton can succeed, yes, but only if Ferrari provides him with a correctly conceived and executed 2026 car. This statement forced an immediate, uncomfortable re-evaluation of where true responsibility lies. It wasn't about Hamilton losing his edge, it was about the environment he was entering. For Ferrari, Brawn's insight must have been perplexing, perhaps even infuriating. He knows Hamilton's past highs and lows intimately, having been instrumental in creating the Mercedes machine that propelled Lewis to 6 of his 7 titles. He understands the fundamental requirements for a champion to flourish. The implication of Brawn's words was stark and unsettling. If a man of his stature, with his intimate knowledge of both Hamilton and championship-winning structures, is declaring that team capability is the absolute key, then what exactly is happening behind the hallowed, often secretive walls of Maranello? It suggested a deeper, more systemic issue within Ferrari that even the arrival of a generational talent like Hamilton might not be able to overcome without a fundamental shift in their approach to car design and regulation mastery. Ross Brawn's intervention, however, transcended mere commentary. It was an expert analysis delivered at a moment of heightened scrutiny on both Lewis Hamilton and the Scuderia. His reputation as an architect of championship-winning structures lent an undeniable gravity to his words, elevating them far beyond the superficial quotes that often populate the Formula One news cycle. Brawn wasn't just offering an opinion, he was dissecting the situation with the precision of a master strategist, confident in Hamilton's enduring resilience, yet using that confidence as a foundational premise for a much deeper discussion about Ferrari's profound systemic responsibilities. He understood that Hamilton's current struggles were not a personal failing, but a symptom of deeper organizational issues. The preceding season had been, by any measure, a disastrous first year for Hamilton by his own lofty standards, a stark contrast to his decorated career. The lack of podium finishes felt alien, the poor qualifying performance in Las Vegas a particularly galling moment, and his visible emotional exhaustion spoke volumes. Yet, Brawn's message was unequivocally clear. These struggles were merely symptoms, not evidence of a decline in the 7-time world champion's capabilities. Instead, he pointed a knowing finger at Ferrari's perennial core issues. the crippling inconsistency that saw them swing wildly between practice brilliance and qualifying mediocrity, their chronic struggle with tire warming, and their alarming tendency to crumble under the immense pressure of a championship fight. These were the ghosts of Maranello, and Brawn was calling them out. He framed the impending 2026 regulations not merely as an opportunity, but as a warning disguised as optimism. Brawn, with his unparalleled history of leveraging significant rule changes to achieve dominance, think of the 2014 Mercedes era he helped engineer, understood better than anyone the transformative power of a technical overhaul. For Ferrari, this represented a limited, perhaps even singular opportunity for a genuine comeback, a chance to reset the technical ledger and truly challenge for supremacy. The silent, unsettling question hanging in the air, implicitly posed by Brawn's insights, was whether Ferrari was truly prepared for the biggest technical revamp in a decade, or if they would once again falter under the weight of expectation. Hamilton's emotional collapse in Las Vegas, a moment of shocking openness where he vehemently denied F1 exit rumors amidst profound frustration, had laid bare the mental toll of the season. Brawn, with his intimate understanding of elite athletes, recognized a driver pushed to their absolute limit. His comments implicitly challenged Ferrari's famously insular culture, directly countering John Elkann's often repeated directive for the team to speak less. Brawn's defense of Hamilton's honesty was powerful. Expressing frustration, he argued, was not a sign of weakness, but a normal human reaction that, crucially, highlighted the very cracks within the team's foundation that needed urgent attention. It was a call for transparency, a demand for accountability, and a powerful endorsement of his former driver's integrity amidst unprecedented adversity. The looming 2026 regulations are not just a distant horizon. They are the immediate, critical battleground for Lewis Hamilton's legacy and Ferrari's future. This seismic shift will redefine aerodynamics, completely overhaul the electrification component, and introduce a radically new engine philosophy, demanding an unprecedented level of innovation and precision from every team. The paddock whispers suggest Mercedes is already significantly ahead in their design concepts, while Red Bull is rumored to be developing some truly radical, game-changing aerodynamic solutions. Meanwhile, Ferrari's internal Project 678 remains shrouded in secrecy, raising more questions than answers about their preparedness. Even Lewis Hamilton himself has openly expressed a deep-seated concern about the upcoming season, a sentiment that speaks volumes about the current state of affairs and the monumental challenge that lies ahead. Ross Brawn's belief in Hamilton isn't rooted in sentimentality or a romanticized view of the past. It's a cold, hard analysis based on years of working with the champion. Brawn understands that Hamilton is more than just raw speed. He is a competitor who truly excels when provided with a stable, favorable environment, much like the one Brawn himself helped build at Mercedes between 2013 and 2014. He knows precisely what Hamilton needs to perform at his peak, and crucially, he knows that Ferrari, in its current guise, has demonstrably failed to provide it. This isn't about a driver losing his edge, it's about a team failing to harness it. Hamilton's ticking clock is an undeniable reality. Approaching 40, he is undeniably in the final, glorious chapter of his illustrious career. The urgency for Ferrari, therefore, is paramount. They must provide him with the tools now for that glorious final act, not in some distant, uncertain future. There's ample evidence that Hamilton's elite speed remains undiminished, with his brilliant demonstrations in Mexico and Austin serving as stark reminders of his raw talent and unwavering commitment. However, elite speed, as Brawn well knows, is rendered useless without structural consistency and flawless team execution. A driver can only do so much when the machinery beneath him is unpredictable or the strategic calls from the pit wall are flawed. Brawn's intervention effectively reframes the entire narrative surrounding Hamilton. He isn't in decline, he is simply disappointed, a crucial distinction. This shifts the responsibility squarely from the driver to the organization, delivering a necessary reality check for Ferrari. Hamilton's challenging season, when viewed through Brawn's lens, becomes a predictable outcome of persistent team shortcomings rather than a personal crisis of performance. Brawn's very public faith in Hamilton's future thus serves as a stark, almost brutal warning to Ferrari. time is rapidly running out. The 2026 regulations represent Ferrari's last, best chance to get their project right, to build a car and a team structure capable of championship contention. Ferrari finds itself at a critical crossroads. They can choose to heed Brawn's precise, strategic, and brutally honest advice, embracing the uncomfortable truths he has laid bare, or they can risk wasting the final, precious years of a legendary driver's career, squandering an opportunity that may never come again. Brawn's intervention wasn't a casual observation. It was a carefully calculated, strategic move designed to force introspection and hopefully catalyze the change Ferrari so desperately needs. The world watches, waiting to see if Maranello is truly listening.